to ascend to the attic, to burrow down in the basement, to bring out that box beneath the bed. I urge each of you to seek out your own sentimental something secretly stored somewhere. Not just to touch, to hold, or to reminisce about it. No. Take it out of the closet, into the deep end. Yes, you should. Yes, you must. Yes, you can.
Thank you. I'm already thinking about that lovely nightgown that's been waiting for me for the last 10 years. That is so skimpy, and I'm just going to try it on.
All I can say is, yes, you can.
I can. I don't know if my husband's going to have the same thoughts, though. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause. Our next speaker is passionate about the agriculture sector, is passionate about change, is passionate about not being afraid to do what needs to be done. She works in a sector that she's worked in for many years, comes with a lot of experience, and has done more things than I've even imagined possible by a person. Our next speaker is not afraid to venture when many have not tread. She's not afraid to speak out about what she wants to see happening. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lorraine James. Thank you.
I think recycling is a hoax. I think saving rhinos is elitist. I am. But that starts. The little green queen, I was called in my company. I'm a game changer. Please can I see it over here? Otherwise I'm back to the audience. Shall I start again? Lots of pictures. I'm a Montessori teacher, so. An activist, but for 45 years. 45 years is a very long time. I have waited a very long time. I'm discouraged and fed up. I actually said cut for at an audience of 900 people with Al Gore last year. Because this is what we're going to leave our children. This is what they're going to say. Seduce. The planet is 4 billion years old. And in the last 500 years, we have used so many resources, we need 2 planets within the next 50 years. And if we all want to live like the Americans, we will need 5 planets within the next 50 years. That's in your children's lifetime. Climate change is our biggest challenge. I've just done the training. It's because we are burning too many fossil fuels, too much CO2, it's warming the planet, the heat can't get out like it used to, it's staying in, and we've got all these disasters around the world. Floods in Texas as we speak, terrible heat waves in India as we speak, and it's going to cause drought, it's going to cause starvation, it's going to cause conflict, which starts with drought and starvation. And it's also going to change where the diseases are. They're moving because the weather's moving. Seduce. We're going to talk about 3 stories here. The first story, this is the wrong set of slides. This is not the ones we worked on yesterday. I can carry on. It just means I haven't done the adjustments. Sorry everyone. It's one I sent final short on my slip. I don't think there's ever been a day where there hasn't been something. Last time the speakers had no batteries in. Did you find it? Your cat's not working. I have to tell you why I do this. I started talking to hoteliers why it has to be like this, and it's gone into agriculture and business and all sorts of things. But I never knew who was in my audience. I had from cleaning ladies up to CEOs. So I had to try and cover the level of development of everybody in the audience, and that's quite structured the way it is.
Isn't that the beauty of live shows?
Yes.
Something will always go wrong.
But it's wonderful.
The beauty of technology is that it's very easy to find the problem and to fix it.
I have to tell you, the first time this happened, I just come back from California, and my best friend started now the National Organization of Women in 1969, which was the first feminist women's leader, the ones that burnt bras and didn't shave under their arms. And we came home, and this was the big thing now, was women's lib. We weren't libs, we were the feminists. And we had a function in Hillbrow, I can't remember what the venue was, and we had an old-fashioned projector. And there were about 45 women in the audience, and not one of us could work a projector. And there were some Freemasons downstairs, we had to call a Freemason to come and help us. We never did that, admit that. Oh, here we go. Is this the other one? This is, yeah, I think so. I'll tell you in a second. Just because we've been through this. Yeah, this is the right one. Okay. So I looked at the theme of this presentation. Thank you. And I looked for words, and you know the right word is actually seduce. If we're trying to sell a concept, we're trying to educate, we're trying to get people to change and buy into stuff that we are passionate about, seduce is the right word. The trouble is, people are either empaths or psychopaths. There's new research on this, and it actually can register in your brain. A psychopath or a narcissist actually doesn't feel what people like us feel, especially women. So for them to change is almost like giving up smoking. Very difficult. So the stories we're going to have are three. The first story will be my story. I'm going to tell you what people needed to know what I was talking about, and I learned the hard way how to tell them. The second one will be, can you move it across please, will be the story of stuff. And the third one will be your story. This is all got very stuff anyway. This is my story. It started in 1969, like I said, in California, and we were hippies. We had jobs. I worked for Deloitte, but we lived in communes. We lived a hippie lifestyle. We didn't wear synthetics. We marched against Vietnam. They wanted to call my husband up. We were worried about pollution already. We didn't actually understand it. We knew there was deforestation. We grew wonderful herbs, which we inhaled. I had to teach my kids how to smoke weed because I didn't want to go behind the garage and engine. I came home, and by mistake, I ended up working for one of our biggest hotel chains doing the purchasing manual. I'm a Montessori teacher. How I ended up there, I don't know. But I was stuck for 15 years trying to educate 2 kids on my own, and I already had this knowledge having worked with environmentalists on what we should be doing. Not getting all this tea from Zimbabwe and not checking where it came from, phosphates into the rivers. And for 15 long years, I tried to get them to understand just how easy it was to move to more responsible, more sustainable, and more ethical practices. So all of these things were in my purchasing manual for 82 hotels, all of those. Then we built the Sandton Convention Centre, which was the first green development we actually did. And I went to my purchasing manual and I said, you know what? I have found a green version of everything. But when you are short, used to be blonde, middle-aged. In a corporate environment, my generation, we were completely invisible. You'd say something profound and they go, "Hell, you know." The man would repeat it with your words and they say, "Good point, let's take it up." So I changed my attitude. I tried to go by lawyers like the Bible says, but girls can't. So I put on my big panties, not my swimsuit, and I left. And I moved to Cape Town. Always wanted to live in Cape Town, and I remarried girls. We used to never remarry in your 60s. Just live nearby. That is your life until you die. So I went out of it. Then the hotel started calling me back. That was the irony. And they said, "What were you talking about?" I said, "I don't know. 15 years I was telling you, this for the cleaning chemicals, this for the amenities, this for your kitchens, this for your food." I'd have the maintenance manager hanging on to every word I said because he was worried about his energy and his waste. I had a food and beverage manager hanging on to every word. And the rest would be going, "What is she talking about?" So, in a moment of absolute madness, I only had two girls, my bookkeeper and another girl that did data capture. We decided to build a whole green hotel. We were mad at Hostix in the exhibition centre in Cape Town, and all these boxes arrived. Those are hotel students putting down flooring for me. And I phoned one of the installers in the hotel business. I said, "Come and help me." And Jerome arrived with his brother, his father, his children, his wife, ladders, and they built a little structure for me. Then Decorex heard what we were doing. This was our second Hostix project. And Decorex gave me this absolutely stunning structure made out of reclaimed wood, and they said, "Please finish it." So I had a database that we developed while I was still with the hotel group, and I just called everyone. It was like an online directory. We don't make any money or sell anything. And I said, "I need you to finish it. Carpeting, paint, lighting, absolutely everything. Send me the stuff. We will display it on your behalf." Grand Designs heard what we did. Fantastic budget, R250,000 to build a little eco-village. Very exciting. We had all the architectural drawings done, but there's a thing called greenwashing. And you get to my age and you know about greenwashing. And I checked out the sponsor, and he was lying about the recyclability of his very famous product. Inspire last year asked us to finish an eco-bedroom, which we did, and won an award. So just to give you an idea, this thing keeps jumping, sorry guys. We had 100 companies involved in these. And now it's not working at all. We couldn't have 100 reps and 100 piles of brochures in this project. So every item had a little ticket on it with 50 words explaining the credential of that product, why it was allowed to be in that project. So for example, that would be the lounge with woolen carpeting, linen upholstery, recycled glass, bamboo table. The bedroom, if you can believe, it was latex, feathers, wool, and horsehair. Top layer was horsehair that our grannies used to use, and coir. And then the kitchen, everything. Bamboo flooring, VOC-free paint, which is not off-gassing toxic chemicals. Paint, if you can smell it, is actually poisoning you, for as long as you can smell it. Non-toxic chemicals, fair trade, coffee, organic coffee, single estate tea, FSC, certified wood for the woodwork. The appliances were all eco-friendly, and so on. Every single thing there was eco-friendly, not necessarily green. The green is people. And then outside we had little samples of everything for the daddies, small wind turbines, geothermal. So they could talk about it, and someone put a hybrid around the back. We had space. We don't know who did it. We got there, this little red hybrid was parked there. So the story is, if you're doing the right thing, that's my bookkeeper, the right thing at the right time, with the right people, and especially for the right reasons, things just come at you. This was supposed to be a hobby on my original database, and this is what it turned into. Those were all the awards that we won. I still can't believe it. If you said to me 10 years ago, "Lorraine, you will build 4 architects and furnish complete homes and win all these awards, I would have said, I never even won counting the beans in the pot. Then recently, in the last 18 months, there's been a huge awareness in food, ethical food, and we've just had the first ever conference in Cape Town for sustainable and ethical food. And our next big workshop is going to be a tasting experience and a price comparison workers. These are all the workshops we run for Estim adopted us because we're three girls, we really light-hearted, we have no contracts, and they are so unpopular. So our presence at the workshops softens the impact for the people. And we've done agriculture and hospitality. So the story mine was people needed to know what to change, and that's why it worked. Once I showed them what touch, feel, see, taste, they could identify it. Nobody having PowerPoint presentations and bullet points, they just don't get it. The second story is going to be the story of stuff. Until people understand why they have to do things, they're not going to do it. So you must imagine now, you've got a small child by the hand, and you're going to follow the story of a product. Maybe his clothes, maybe his toys, maybe his grandpa's car. You're going to follow the history of that product. You're going to look at this entire lifestyle. You're going to look at where it came from, what happened to the forest, what happened to the community who lived where they picked or dug for this thing, what happened to the water there. You're going to look at how far it travelled and how it's manufactured. And you're going to explain to him, you're going to say to you, why is all this dye in the river here? Why is there all this smoke in the sky? You're going to have to explain it to him. You're going to have to explain why it's full of packaging and plastic, and why it's been chucked into China when there are people out of work in Moy River who should be making our t-shirts. Every time you wear your Chinese t-shirt, you're putting someone out of work here, and you're probably supporting child labour or slave labour. Then also, during its use, does it cause allergies? Does it use too much energy? A whole host of things you need to think about. And to me, most importantly, when you buy this, you own it. When you throw it away, that's not the end of its life, it's the beginning of the rest of its life. So you must ask the manufacturer, what do I do with this? And if he says throw it away, you throw it in his garden. Because the sea is full of islands of plastic the size of Texas that's breaking down and the fish are eating it. So the most important things for us as women, the first one is the heating of the planet and too much energy, too much fossil fuels. The second one is the cutting down of the forests. I did a talk in Ghana, 80% of the forests in Ghana are gone. Gone for palm oil. In South America, they're gone for soy to feed beef for McDonald's. There's a fantastic new movie called Cowspiracy. Go and see it. It's absolutely fascinating. And this is what they're doing to the orangutans. They are starving. They're coming to villages for food, so they beat them up and put them back into the forest. This is my biggest challenge. That little boy is going to say to you, my gosh, grandpa, dad, mommy, whoever's holding his hand, that's an awful lot of the same stuff. That's monoculture. He's going to say, what is that stuff coming out of the can? That is not salad dressing. That is a herbicide. That is killing absolutely everything except those lilies. In South Africa, 80% of our lilies are genetically modified. Anyone know what genetically modified means? I'm going to tell you in a minute. We weren't told. We weren't asked if it was okay. And he's going to say to you, why does the farmer dress like that? Farmers usually wear overalls and safari suits and stuff because of the toxins. And the pesticides are actually in the seed. So when an insect eats its seed, its stomach explodes. So you want to tell me if we eat that seed, it doesn't affect us? It just hasn't been tested long enough. So this is what genetically modified means. This is a hybrid. You can mix or marry two fruits and make another kind of fruit. That's possible. That happens in nature. Genetically modified has to have a scientist and a laboratory. And he will marry a fish with a vegetable. That cannot happen. And if that contaminates the crops next door, this is our biggest worry. And mostly the chemicals they have to use to get these plants to survive. And I can tell you people like, I'm not going to mention names, are marching through Africa. I just did a 13-day train trip through Africa. They are everywhere, buying up the little rural farms. So you're going to worry about all the clean chemicals and the toxins going into the rivers. Don't worry about the plastic that's everywhere. That fish was found in Hawaii with 14 pieces of plastic in its stomach. And of course, no more balloons ever because the turtles have died. The little boy will probably never eat pork again if he saw how the animals are treated overseas. And I'm not so sure they're treated much better here. You have to explain to him that there's actually antibiotics. The beef in America uses far more antibiotics than human beings do, and we're becoming resistant, and also growth hormones. And there's also talk that I still have to research, that most of our cosmetics and toiletries have never been properly tested. I think about 2 years ago, the EPA finally listened to us greenies and said, you know what, we better check the toxicity. I don't mind what you put in your body. You can put anything you like on, but that's washing off into our water systems, into our rivers, and into our water to drink. So the story of stuff is people need to know why. They need to be informed, they need to get cross, and they need to get frightened. And the reason I have the energy at my age of 72 to carry on working like I do is crossness. I am cross and I am tired, and people have actually got to start doing something. So the last story is your story. How? You will leave here. You already know, I think a lot of you are already converted. You need to know how to get your message across. So the biggest challenges we have, all of us, and women are far more aware of what's happening, is big oil, big pharma, and big food. They are controlling us. They are controlling what we eat, where we go, what we wear. And I'll tell you something, you can toy, you can march, you can Facebook, you can sign petitions, you can carry on until you are blue in the face, but it's not going to stop the train. Big companies are just laughing at us and walking all over us. So we have to band together like the suffragettes, and the women on the ground have to start objecting. They are boycotting Kellogg's in America. You don't hear about that. There's a big movement to boycott Kellogg's. You notice it's all over the place here all of a sudden. You have to start thinking like Gandhi, thinking like Martin Luther King. Nelson Mandela was patient. We are too nice. We are too nice. He was too nice for decades. And eventually he said, you know what, enough. Enough. I'm going to change my tactics. And that's what we have to do. So the trouble is we are just moving the deck chairs around on the Titanic. The next big thing is going to be very, very similar to the Great Depression. And do you know what changed and stopped the Great Depression? World War II. Because it gave people a sense of purpose, pulling together against a common enemy. So I want you to become disruptive activists, we call it, and become a nuisance. Buy your chocolate and say, I want to know where your palm oil comes from. Sometimes they can't tell you. And one of our top companies told my daughter, oh, we just use a tiny little bit of palm oil. She said, well, you might as well say, just use a tiny little bit of brown or corn. And I thought that was a pretty good argument. So this is us marching, me at my age, against Monsanto last Saturday. I think nearly 2 million people in 400 cities, I think, marched against Monsanto. And you are going to be called a crystal-touching hippie. That's my other name, aside from the Little Green Queen. And they might even arrest you. So, gurus have guts. Guru girls have guts. Green guru girls have lots of guts. So the story of the last story, your story is how to do it. You are inspired and ready to share and motivate because you are women. Our 3 stories, what, why, and how. Everything you use every day impacts on the environment. 50 years from now, 15 years from now, climate change is going to smack us. You will still be alive. Your kids will certainly be alive. So, you must be the green champions when you go out here and just fight for what's right. Speak up. This was actually, I spoke to Waste Management Business Youth in Parliament actually, this slide. And they will laugh at you, but don't keep quiet. I won one of my top awards on the stage, and he said to me, do you know why you won this award? So I said, no, he said, Because for 45 years you've been ankle biting, and at our short experience, you will listen eventually. So, if you think you're too small to make a difference, try sleeping in a closed room with a mosquito. Your children are watching you. Thank you.
I love the fact that today I've got permission to go and put on that speedo. I love the fact that she's given me permission to use words that my mother doesn't. And I'm just sitting back and thinking, what else am I going to have permission to do? For when others speak up, and when others are bold enough to say what others are not afraid, or what they're not afraid to say, it gives you. Is that the level of energy you have? When others speak up, when you're too afraid to, they give you permission to think thoughts that you've never thought before. Next up is a speaker who's changing the lives of rural girls, one girl at a time. She lives and works in what I call, and many people I understand have come to call, the Valley of 1,000 Dreams. Ladies and gentlemen, smooth clean.
Just like Nina's outfit, I also have something that goes with my outfit. I'm sure people have been wondering why I'm wearing running shoes. There's a story to my shoes, but I will leave it for later. I was born and raised in a place called the Valley of 1,000 Hills. Anybody knows where that is? In